Just a quick video walk around of the ZAR Mini Rib 16DL, now rigged with Evinrude E-TEC 60 outboard motor. Boat's been fitted with navigation lights, a single white light on the top of the A-frame, starboard navigation light, port navigation light, controlled by this switch panel here, is marked up, single white anchor light, this switch here, and red and green lights on this switch here, so they can be used independently. So you can have just the single white light for anchoring, or both switches on for red, white and green. The other switches on this panel is a circuit breaker switch for the bilge pump. Bilge pump's located back of the boat inside this inspection hatch here. So that has a float switch attached to it. So any water that finds its way into the bilge, and that float switch is hardwired to the battery, but it can also be overridden manually by pushing on this switch here. You can hear that running there. And the final switch on that switch panel is a main circuit breaker for the stereo, which is located over here, this side of the console. So with that switch on, it gives power to the stereo, and that's either a radio or you can take Bluetooth from your iPod or iPhone. Speakers, one on either side of the console. Also up here on the console we've got tachometer, trim gauge and fuel gauge. So obviously gives you RPM of the engine, shows you the tilt angle of the engine on the trim gauge, and fuel tank shows you the level inside the fuel tank, which is located underneath the seat in front of the console. 45 litre plastic fuel tank filled through here. You then got a breather pipe and your main fuel pickup pipe. So this is your priming bulb here. So before starting the engine, just pump some fuel through and then it'll be good to start. Going back up to the console, you've got your ignition switch and kill cord here. Engine will only start with the kill cord in place, so it's just a case of pushing it on. An ignition key in there, 2 ignition keys supplied. And so the engine will only start with the kill cord on, and will only also start with the engine in the neutral position. Obviously push forward for forward gear, and backwards for reverse gear. Push a nice positive engagement to ensure that the gears are engaged. If you want to run the engine at speed, out of gear, it's just a case of pushing this button on the outside here, and that'll allow you to fast idle the engine. Underneath the leaning seat is your battery in battery box. And then just stepping around the back of the boat, the engine can be tilted up and down either by using this switch on the side of the engine or trim switch on the side of the control box. Boat supplied on a roller trailer with lighting board and winch. So launching the boat, just a case of removing the lighting board, removing the tie down straps, pushing the trailer into enough water, and then releasing the winch, and the boat will roll off the trailer.